Hey YouTube, Ryu here. Just wanted to go ahead and it's not a reply video, but I guess it's kind of a reply to MYSTIC7 and one of his latest videos talking about the updates for Pokemon and so on and so forth. This is more towards his attitude toward the game and towards rural players. Dude, get off your high horse. Honestly, I know you're a big YouTuber, and I know that a lot of people are going to think, oh, well, he's just trying to pick a fight with the guy because he's a bigger YouTuber. Well, for one, I'm not a YouTuber. I just go ahead and make these little rant videos. But I'm going to go ahead and specify my objections. Objection number one. When you sat there and you heard the whole trading thing, you're like, yeah, I figured it was going to be this way, and, you know, it would ruin it, and does it suck for rural players? Yeah. But you had that kind of, yeah, it sucks for you, but just shut up and deal with it. No. Dude, no. Now, I'm sure you're probably a good guy. I'm sure you are. But seriously, your attitude towards other people and their issues that they're having with this game, which are very legitimate issues, you know, the people that keep getting screwed over and over again. Why do you have that attitude towards them? It's a big problem, and it's a problem that Niantic has, and it's something that they need to be called out on, especially by big YouTubers like you. And I'm not one of these little, oh, I'm so triggered, sensitive motherfuckers. No. I am a longtime player of Pokemon. And as a US player, I have gotten so sick and tired of getting screwed over by the mentality of, you know, oh, if you don't live in the right area, screw you, thanks for your money, but we don't need you anymore. Getting really sick and tired of that attitude. And it's something that has been in the Pokemon company since time immemorial. I mean, if you go ahead, you look at all the major events, Japan. Now, is there a large user base in Japan? Of course. But there's just as large of a user base in the US. But the thing is when you look at the events that have happened in the US versus the events that have happened in Japan, you notice two things. One, the events that happen in Japan, much better. They get usable Pokemon. They get Pokemon that, you know, people really want. What does the US get? Oh, maybe a special version of a Pokemon that's already been released. They don't get anything specific where the Japanese have to trade with them. Oh, no. That's very rare. Unless it's a Pokemon with a special moveset that can only be gotten from the event. Woohoo. So not only do they get the games first, but then they also get more content. Yay. And yet we all pay the same price. Wow. Yeah. And the thing is when people get that attitude in Pokemon Go of, oh, the poor rural players, now let's point and laugh at them. Dude, no. At that point, you are part of the problem. And you are part of the problem that's going to drive Pokemon Go into the dirt. You're going to only have the upper echelon elite playing the game, or people like you who can go ahead and afford to make these big old trips because you made a job out of playing the game. Not everyone can do that. What about the people who are out there, you know, working that 9-to-5 job, trying to support a family, so on and so forth? What about them? What, they don't matter? They don't deserve something? How about this? What if Niantic was to go ahead and do the most suicidal thing possible, but something that would be absolutely amazing to see, in my point of view, From my perspective, as a rural player, I'm not a rural player, I live in a city. But the thing is I'm in kind of an out-of-the-way city. You know, we get nothing. What if they were to only have Rattatas and Pidovs when that generation ends up releasing? You know, only Pokemon that you would find in the cities. What if they were to only have those where you were at, and any of the other stuff, like, you know, Rapidash, Pinsir, Heracross, so on and so forth, in our little out-of-the-way areas. So it's all like, yeah, you can travel for a few hours to go out and find these every time you want to go out. I mean, hell, there's a large bridge where I live. What if you had to have a large thoroughfare bridge? And that's where Snorlax was. Well, it would really suck for you because you can't exactly hop out of your car to go ahead and catch it, can you? What if it had to be a footbridge? Good luck. But me, I would be sitting there capturing them all day long. Now, what if you were sitting there and saying, oh, it sucks only having these, and the rural players were to sit there and say, oh, cry me a river? You would get pretty pissed off. So how about this? Try putting yourself in the rural player's position for once, instead of sitting there and just imagining for a half of a second what it would be like, and then dismissing it. I would love to see you move out to a rural area and try to play the game. Try to make a living off of playing the game. Try it. I dare you. That's my challenge to you. And I'm not talking about for a week. I'm talking about for 4 or 5 months. See how many people stick with you then. Because they're going to get sick and tired of you catching the same Pokemon over and over and over and over and over again. And you constantly bitching about having to buy Pokeballs and all of that. Now, that may not seem like a whole lot to you right now, but I guarantee you, after you start losing that income from your videos, from people not watching you anymore, as that starts to drop off, all of a sudden, each one of those extra purchases is going to really start to hurt. Welcome to a rural player. Welcome to their life. Now me, it's maybe a 15-minute drive for me to go ahead and go into an area where there's a lot. It's a pretty nice area. In fact, right now, that area is a Magmar nest. Awesome. We've never had Magmars up here before. But now we have a Magmar nest, so that's awesome. You know, people are happy as lark. Until they've caught about, 40 or 50 Magmars, and then they're like, okay, I'm getting sick of Magmar. I would love to see it where, Dugtrio and all that only spawns in rural areas. Some people are like, well, what the hell? We don't have this. How about this? What if Jinx was to only spawn in the hood? There you go. Because let's be honest, Jinx initially was based off of Gongro Girl. So the thing is the hood would probably be the place. Not being racist, but let's just be honest here. Gongro girls are based off of partying and the stereotypical black party girl. Alright? We all know this. It wasn't meant as a racist thing. In fact, they were shocked when people got ticked off at them because it was more of a, imitation is the greatest form of flattery type of thing. And so when people got ticked off about it and got offended by it, You know, it was a major culture shock. But let's go ahead and go with that. You know, how about we go ahead and have it where you only have those few Pokemon and drastically lower your spawns? How about this? If you're in an area and there's more than 5 Pokestops within a mile, you get 1 Pokeball. 1 Pokeball per spin. Maybe a potion, but if you get the potion, you don't get the Pokeball. And your chances of an evolution item, instead of being that 0.14%, now it's a 0.0014% for you to get an evolution item. Sounds fair to me. Would equal it, wouldn't it? Oh, but that wouldn't be fun. Well, guess what? It's not fun for rural players. And Niantic hasn't been listening to rural players. And why? Because they get a whole bunch of city players sitting there going, oh, well, we need more, we need more, we need more. No, you don't. You already have more than the rural players could ever possibly have. It's a big problem. And you are not helping, dude. How about call out Niantic? How about actually sit there and tell them, hey, you need to give something to the rural players. Instead of doing that, yeah, it sucks for rural players, but they're just going to have to eat another one. How about you stop with that? How about stop with that elitist mindset? And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate. That's if anyone even sees this. But the thing is, I have to call you out. Because you don't have yourself in check anymore. And no, I'm not trying to be nice about this. Civil? Yes. Nice? No. Because the thing is what you ended up saying about how it's going to mess over rural players and then kind of shrugged it off, that's insulting, dude. It's amazing how many of the YouTubers that are doing Pokemon Go, which honestly I'm really ashamed that a lot of them are in my state, because almost all of you are sitting there and being perfectly okay with a fairly large chunk of the fan base getting screwed over and over and over again. And then when you sat there and told people not to bitch about the Snorlax event because it's doing good, not everything has to do good. They can go ahead and do that Snorlax event. The Japanese governments can go ahead and ask for that and utilize that. That's a smart move. I'm all for it. But it doesn't mean that they can't do events here in the US. They don't have to have local governments petitioning them to go ahead and have an event. That is the most lazy cop-out BS I have ever heard. And I am calling you on that. And you're sitting there and going, oh, well, we can't go to this event. The fact that you were even able to go to the first event, dude, be happy with that. I know a lot of people who wanted to go to that Lapras event that couldn't afford to. And then you have the audacity to sit there and say, oh, well, here's a link for a fund. Which, on its surface, I understand and I get it and I give you props for it. But the way that you presented everything really made it seem disingenuous. And it really is insulting. It's all like, oh, you can't afford to go there in person? Well, still give them as much as you can. Really? You do realize that Japan isn't the only place that has a lot of areas that are in financial dire straits, right? A lot of rural areas are in that same situation constantly, and it doesn't take a fucking earthquake. And if it seems like I'm pretty upset about it, it's because I am. I am so sick and tired of people from big cities saying that rural people need to stop complaining, that they need to stop bitching. That people from the US need to stop bitching for sitting there and getting half of a fucking game. And here Niantic is, a US company, still screwing us over and selling out to Japan. And don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of Japan. I love Japan. I want to visit there someday. But the thing is, it's probably not going to be until I'm well into my 40s that I even have a snowball's chance in hell of it. Unless I win a free trip. Good luck. Yet here you are, telling people that they need to stop bitching because there was an earthquake there. And you know what? I'm not downplaying it. It was a horrible thing that happened. I feel for those people. I do. But the thing is you also need to understand where people are coming from. I mean, hell, I'm assuming you've been a long-time Pokemon player. I'm assuming you have been. I don't know. I haven't watched enough of your content to know if you've been playing Pokemon since it launched. But if you have, then you would know that the US has been getting screwed on that. Basically, if you're a Pokemon player and you want to really get any of the good shit, you got to live in Japan. Or be willing to fly out there at the drop of a hat. Like I said, I'm pretty sure you're a fairly good guy. But the thing is the way that you presented that was in the worst possible manner, and it made you look like one of the ugliest individuals on the fucking planet. The only way that you could be worse is if you were sitting there and spouting out, some, racist hatred or something like that. That's the only way you could have been more ugly there. But the thing is you definitely came off as an elitist, and I'm calling you on it. Because there aren't very many rural players that would be willing to call you on it, because your followers would go ahead and jump their ass. I don't care. But how about you stop thinking outside of your bubble for once and actually listen to the complaints that people are having and realize that that's not coming out of nowhere. That it's not necessarily coming from a place of selfishness, but just wanting to be treated equally. Honestly, dude, you lost a sub today. I unsubscribed from you. I'm probably not going to watch any more of your content. So if you actually have a reply to me, you need to send it directly to me. And I'll address it then. But until then, you lost a subscriber. You lost someone who honestly really did support you. Because I thought you had a lot of informational videos. But the thing is if you're going to sit there and have that attitude towards people in an even worse off situation than mine, I'm not going to support you. And if I watch anything from you, it's going to be with ad block on. I'm going to make sure you get no money from me. It sucks that there are so few Pokemon Go YouTubers anymore. But that's also a sign that Pokemon Go really has started going down the tubes. And it really sucks that you are still so absorbed in your own bubble that you're going to sit there and applaud them for driving their own game into the dirt.